This is our range of max tanks, Rob. We, in the North Island, produce 15,000, 25,000 and 30,000. And in the South Island we do 15s, 26s and 33s. So in the South Island we're the biggest in the market.
What makes them stand out?
The fact that we've put a huge amount of effort into the design side of it and making absolutely sure that the product that we provide to somebody is absolutely correct.
So your quality control, with all due respect, is paramount.
Yeah, absolutely. Every tank that we have, we measure a whole lot of different points up the tank in terms of the absolute wall section to make sure that the material's got enough strength to do the job that we've asked of it.
Because some of those volumes are pretty big.
Now, obviously, if you've got water in a 33,000 litre tank, that's going to be 33 tonnes of weight that's actually being held by the bottom of that tank. So you can imagine quite a lot of force.
Now I noticed that there's lugs at the top. That's obviously so that you can make sure it stays where you put it when it's empty.
Regardless of where we actually end up putting the tank, we can tie it down. We have situations where people have put these onto ridge lines, for instance, in hill areas, and essentially that means that we can hold the thing onto the ground so that even when it's empty, it only has half a tonne of weight, it won't be blown off that ridge, and that's quite important.
Decent sized manhole or entry for humans to get in there and clean it out if they need to?
Well, look, even I can get into our tanks. The manhole's about 600 millimetres in our big size, in the 33s and 25 series. The smaller ones are 450, even in 450 I'd get in.
So what are the flat areas near the top?
The flat areas enable us to very conveniently, first of all, place inlet valves into the tank, and then around the manhole we've got a large area where we can put in the ladder into the tank to stop it sliding around the top. So obviously in terms of the way that we manufacture it, it's very much about health and safety. We want our clients to be happy that they've selected our tank.
And you want them to live so they can order another one?
That's correct, absolutely.
Obviously access to the water coming out the bottom, that's standard?
That's standard in every one of the max tanks. We drill and then tap into the bottom of the tank a 2-inch thread, BSP thread, which makes it very easy. So when it arrives at your property, you prepare the site nice and flat, put the tank on, and then easily put in a valve or whatever you need in the bottom of that tank.
The size of the tank means that there'll be pretty good reserves for firefighting. Some of the rural firefighting guys have got different size needs.
Absolutely. Depending on where you happen to be in the country, the standards are slightly different. Some people use cam locks, others use proper firefighting couplings, and we provide both of those for that situation. And also there is an arrangement where you have a reserve of a certain amount of water in the tank, so that would fire occur in your property, then in fact the rural fire people can connect to that and know that there's volume in it. So that's quite important as well.
What about delivery? Because you obviously make them in New Zealand here.
Yeah, they're made in Horotū in the North Island, which is between Ngaruawahia and Hamilton.
Well past the airport, isn't it?
It's well past the airport. And also in Ashburton here. We deliver throughout New Zealand, free onto farm. As you can imagine, actually it's quite specialised transport to carry the tanks. And we tend to deliver that to wherever we're able. Now obviously there are some places that are just too difficult, and if you were to have a look on our website, there's a helicopter taking a tank and delivering that. So there are some unusual places that they get delivered.
So this is really the result of a lot of R&D.
A huge amount of work. We spend a lot of time making sure that we have the right things on the tank and the design is correct. We've spent a lot of time independently getting our systems audited to SAI Global. There is a an Australian standard for tank manufacture that we are certified to, which means practically that somebody else is making sure that we are doing the right things. And that's quite important for the client, knowing that they're going to have a product for a long time.
So your own quality control is overridden, if you like, or taken even further.
Absolutely, and it's all about making sure that the client's getting the right product to do the job. So even if, for instance, you have a product that's different to water, maybe you want to put molasses in a tank, it's all about that design process and making sure that there is enough material to carry the amount of load that you're placing in it.